the domestic demand for masks is still high, and there is a big gap between supply and demand.
口罩当时它其实是一道真正的防线，生命的防线。虽然我们企业不是很大，我还是不惜任何的代价去完成，这是我真正的责任和义务。加班加点的。
Lin Jinxiang is a private entrepreneur from the city of Jiande in Zhejiang province. His company has been producing face masks for around 25 years. On January the 20th, 2020, China's top epidemiologist Zhong Nanshan confirmed that the new coronavirus discovered in Wuhan could be transmitted from person to person. Lin Jinxiang held an urgent meeting in his company the next day and decided to guarantee mask supplies.
All our employees were on holiday for the Spring Festival at that time, so I asked them to return to the factory for 3 times their salary. I paid them that level of salary for 2 months.
Lin says only around 20 companies in China had the certification to produce medical protective masks at the time. He says he was one of the first to take the initiative, with around 700 employees returning to the factory.
We produced over 20 million medical protective masks in the first 2 months, which accounted for around 55% of the country's total demand, and around 98% of the demand in Zhejiang province.
Lin Jinxiang says the market price for each medical mask was as high as 26 yuan at the time, or nearly $4, but he sold masks to hospitals on the front lines for the cut price of 6 yuan each. That's less than $1.
I lost around 300 million yuan in profit during that period. As a small and medium private company, we weren't that rich. But as a member of the CPC, I believe it's my social responsibility, especially when the whole country is faced with such a disaster.
In order to better protect the company's employees, Lin Jinxiang says he spent around 6 million yuan renting 10 hotels nearby the factory, making sure they could fully devote themselves to the work. With record levels of market demand, many domestic companies decided to invest and produce their own face masks. But only a few companies like Lin's had the qualifications to test materials and evaluate quality. So Lin Jinxiang made another bold decision to open up his lab and offer free tests and training for new mask producers.
I was a little hesitant because it meant sharing my business technology with other manufacturers. The technology in the mass production sector is relatively conservative.
Lin's company warehouse was almost empty in the first half of 2020, with all of the masks delivered to hospitals in China and around the world. As the pandemic is gradually brought under control domestically, his company is now focused on exporting to overseas market, where demand remains high.
I may have earned less profit this year, but I'll make it back over the next few years. It's the values and sense of duty that define a man, not the profit he makes.
Lin Jinxiang believes more entrepreneurs have taken their sense of social responsibility seriously amid the pandemic, and he says their efforts are helping drive the global recovery. Wu Lei, CGTN, Zhejiang Province.